Welcome to Hindu Heritage Hub, where history, identity, and culture come alive. One of the most important lawsuits in the history of Hindu Americans was filed in 2006. This lawsuit halted the state of California from misusing its power. You see, what happened was that the California textbooks portrayed Hinduism and India unfairly, inaccurately, and disrespectfully in the 6th grade social studies textbooks. Hindu Americans objected to it. A group of Hindu American parents, along with 2 independent Hindu organizations, the Vedic Foundation and the Hindu Education Foundation, proposed new content. The California State Board of Education was willing to review the content, but the state dealt with the editing process in an ad hoc and closed-door process. This led to a lawsuit filed by the Hindu American Foundation, or HAF, against the California State Board of Education. The Hindu American Foundation argued that the State Board of Education had not followed a fair and open process required by law. The good news is that HAF partially won this case a decade later, but there's even better news. Before we continue, I want to invite you to subscribe to the channel. Subscribing ensures you stay up to date with all the latest episodes, packed with insightful stories. Don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button now and become part of our engaged Hindu community. Let me tell you what was even better. 3 significant things happened during that decade of turmoil. First, the Hindu organizations such as the Vedic Foundation, the Hindu Education Foundation, and a few others engaged with the state machinery right away. Second, of course, on behalf of Hindu Americans, the Hindu American Foundation, or HAF, sued the state. But the most important and the third aspect was the groundswell of California's Hindu parents and middle and high school students. They tirelessly went to Sacramento week after week and gave public testimonies to the State Board of Education, which was now willing to open its doors to hear from parents and students. That was a long, tiring decade with many exhausting days. While Hindu American parents got busy with grueling edits to the content framework, families traveled to Sacramento from distant corners of California. They waited in long lines for their turn to tell the state officials how the state was treating them as inferior. All of this for only 2 minutes of speaking time. But it was the middle and high school kids who shone through like bright stars of Hinduism. Their testimonies are a must listen. I would highly encourage you to visit the Dignity for Hinduism campaign channel on YouTube to see the awe-inspiring work that Hindu students did in Sacramento. Trust me, it'll make you proud. Just search for the title Dignity for Hinduism campaign on YouTube. Then in the middle of all of this, something unusual happened. Out of nowhere and quite unexpectedly, a monk in orange robes stepped up to the speaking dais. I was dumbfounded. Never before had I seen a Swami defend his faith in the halls of power as Acharya Arumugunath Swami from Kauai's Hindu monastery did that day. Like many others, he spoke for only 2 minutes, but those were eye-opening for me. Let me tell you why. All these years, I had assumed, perhaps just like you, that the place for a Swami is his monastery. I had always seen Swamis and Swaminis perform their dharmic duties, but never saw them pushing and pulling the levers of a state machinery. That was disorienting. Ever since then, not a week goes by when I don't talk to Hindu Americans about issues we face as Hindus. Invariably, such conversations are quite alarming for two reasons. First, the majority of Hindus I talk to get tuned out within the first minute. But secondly, and most importantly, some of them quite boldly say those words that I dread the most. I am not interested in politics. Today, I want to clear a misconception with you. When you learn about the issues staring Hindus in our faces, when you speak up, when you educate others, and when you defend yourself or your identity, it is called advocacy. You're building a case for an idea, for a cause, or for a policy. You are advocating for your rights. Just because you're doing that with elected or appointed officials, it does not make it politics. Do not be afraid. Step up and engage. If a Swami in orange robes can follow his dharma and advocate for his faith, his identity, so can you. It is called following your dharma. Advocacy is your dharma. Let me say that again. As a Hindu, advocacy is your dharma. Now stand tall and break your silence, please. Hey, I hope you liked this episode. Please share it with family and friends far and wide, and let's keep the spirit alive. Until next time, namaste.